So what's a modlet? And how do you set it up? And what's it done with the mods? Did it eat them? And most importantly, is it tasty? So you might have seen my recent blimp video, and maybe you thought it was a cool thing, but too much trouble to put together yourself and edit the XML files and put it into the game. And that's often a sentiment. You look at something, you think it's cool, but then having to go in and edit the XMLs, maybe a little bit too troublesome. So modlets make this really easy. I'm going to do a quick dive into what this really means for the game, how they work, how you can use them, and show off the blimp modlet that Death2Gnomes was kind enough to compile after my video. Thanks, mate. And what are modlets? In effect, they are small mods that affect the base game XML files. They can add things, they can remove things, they can alter what's already there, you can add additional icons to support, and it's all rolled up into a nice tasty pancake, or a modlet, whichever you prefer to eat. So what makes them good? Well, Alpha 17 has a nice new system for handling mods, and it relies on xPath to dynamically load in mods that affect XML files. It means that you no longer need to alter the base config files, you just create the modlet specified accordingly, you drop it in a mods folder, and that's it. It's much easier than previously having to change the base XML files. The great thing is that a lot of people out there can make modlets, they can package them, and all you need to do is download, extract into the right location, and you are good to go. And they could theoretically conflict with each other, but it's still a lot easier than editing together multiple XML files just to have it in the game, or having to download a mod launcher and run it that way, even if it's just a small change. I see this really being useful for small mods, and modlets is probably a fitting name, but of course if you want to make a huge mod like War of the Walkers or Starvation, it's not going to be sufficient because it alters a lot more than just the base XML files. So this is basically Modlet. It's the top level directory of the joke blimp. If you go into it, you see a few more folders which has files in them and has some item icons and some extra resources if you need that. And then it has a mod info that specifies what it's really about. And if you look at that one, this is sort of the top level that shows what's this all about. And it has a name, it's got a description. And again, this was done by Death2Gnomes. Thank you very much. Whoops. And you can put in the version, etc. So, but when it comes to the actual files you see go into the config file, it's the same type of files that you see in the base game. It just changes to them. So let's say I open up the items. You see it's basically saying you're going to append things into the items, okay? And then you specify what the item is. So there's another one here, which is the chassis and accessories for the blimp, and the actual placeable that you place down. Now, of course, you have to put in the statistics or the property names of it, depending on what it is, but that's all there is to it. So this one then gets loaded into the main items.xml, put at the back, and loaded into the game. Really useful. And the same thing happens with the recipes. So now you have a recipe to craft this one, and as you can see, oops, it's appending to the recipes. And again, you see here, there's a recipe, there's another recipe, and of course this is all the same standard format that is in the recipe.xml. And that's it, done. Same thing, you go to vehicles, and here's, I believe he's done things to allow a second seat. I don't actually know how all these particular things are, but that's what he's done here. He's edited the progression so you can actually learn it, and that's it. Once it's done, once you've done all that to put it together, you go up to the top level and you do send to, well, you zip it. You basically zip it up because it's easier to transfer between people. And that's what people are doing. They're uploading them to websites and inviting you to download. And now you have the actual modlet. But what do you do with modlet when it's completed or you've downloaded it? Well, you have to put it into the game, obviously. So you go to your game, you go to properties, you go to local files, browse local files, and it opens up your base game. And this, you go to the mods folder. And if there isn't any mods folder, just create it. You go into it and you bring in your, let's see, you bring in your, copy in your file, but now it's a zip file. So you have to extract it as well. So let me just extract it and done. So now there is a joke blimp here, but it's a little bit too far down. You probably should change the naming where you extract it. So I'm going to cut it here. I'm going to go up one and paste it in. And I think that should be it. Right. So now everything you see, this is the mod folder and this is the one folder down and it has all the files. And that's it. That's all you need to do. You might wonder what's this horde challenge, and I'm not gonna spoil the surprise here. I'll probably make another video about that in this week sometime. And that's it. The modlet has been installed, and now we're gonna try it in the game, and you just start the game as usual. Alright, we're now back in the game in my nice little base, and the modlet has been installed, so let's go have a look. So you can see I can make, well, not quite, but I have the accessories, which requires all the stuff that was in the XML file. You have the chassis, which require more stuff, and you have the joke blimp, but I can't actually do it. What's going on? Now, so what he added in the progression file is that you needed to unlock it as well. And you need to go to the... let me see, Grease Monkey? Yeah, this one. Fly Fools! So I'm going to need to update here and learn these things. Now I have all 5. And I should be able to do the blimp stuff now. See, now I can do the blimp stuff. Craft. Ooh. And the chassis. Was that the chassis? No, okay. Accessories and the chassis. Okay, just making sure. And once you have the chassis and the accessories, you put together the blimp itself and... done. That wasn't that easy. Now, of course, it's huge. Let's put it here. And here you go. Now, of course, you're sitting in a little bit of a weird place, but a little bit better than last time where your feet were dangling out, so at least it looks like you're in it. And this is how easy it is. You drop in the modlet, you unzip it, and as long as that is done, it's in the game. And the same thing works for... whoa, we can take down trees. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can do that here. So that's all there is to it, to put in the different modlets that you might find. Yes. Okay, not quite. So you can do that for a lot of other modlets that you find. And I'm going to put some links in the description for where there's more information about the modlets, and where I think there's a lot of people also putting in their small modlets that they have created in the game. And of course, I'm going to put in a link to the blimp modlet as well. Just look in the description below. Hope you enjoyed that, and if you find or if you make any cool modlets, do let me know. I'll see you again next time.
Special thanks to the great patrons supporting the channel. If you would like to join the vetted community and support these videos, do follow the Patreon link.